Hey everybody, it's me, Katie, and I am here to show you how I do my makeup. I get so many emails and comments on Facebook and those kind of things asking me to share some of my tips, and I figured it was time for me finally to do that, especially since I am presently running a challenge group called Muscles and Mascara, which is makeup themed along with fitness, and I am just so excited about it. So let's talk about what I do. Now, I want to just preface this tutorial by saying a couple things. First of all, I am not a makeup artist. I never went to school for it. I never worked at any stores that gave me any kind of guidance. Everything that I do, that's ways that I have learned from either watching YouTube videos, just reading things, just trial and error. And that's what makeup really is about. It's about finding a way that works for you, finding products that work for you, and just being creative. I use a lot of different things. Some are more expensive, some are cheaper, and I've used a lot in the past where I've tried them because I've heard they're amazing, and then when I get them on my face I realize it's just not for me. And that's what I want you to keep in mind too. If I love something, if you want to try it, I definitely encourage it because I love the product. But keep in mind your skin tone and colors and budgets and all that stuff too, because that's also very important when you look at makeup. There are just too many options out there, and that's why I want to share with you things that I love and how I do my makeup every single day. First things first, you've got to take really good care of your skin. I cannot stress that enough. And for me, that means washing your face every morning, washing it up, before workouts, after workouts, before bed. You want to make sure that you are not letting your skin get tainted in any possible way. I know a lot of people that do sleep in their makeup, and I don't know how that's possible because I just look disgusting when I do that. And I always want to look clean and fresh. And that's kind of the point of makeup, and to not look like you slept in it. So first things first would be how you care for your skin. For me, this is what I use. I love it, and I can't say enough good things about it. Purity by Philosophy. I buy it at Ulta. It's a little bit pricier than, of course, if you would go buy something from Target or Giant Eagle for your face. I used to use Noxzema for a long time, except it would always clog up my sink, and that was a problem. So I switched to this. Love it. It smells like Fruit Loops. For me, it works really great. It's very gentle on my skin, and I have somewhat of sensitive skin, I would say. Oily in the T-zone, as you can tell. Just wash my face and it's already glistening. So that works for me. But again, a lot of great products out there. Experiment, try. I did try a lot of things that people suggested in the past that were cheaper, and they just would either cause my skin to break out, make me red, or extremely dry, and I didn't like that. This is a good composition for my face. That's why I use it. Before I get started with any kind of makeup application itself, I always do a primer. My favorite primer is this bad boy, as you can see in the light here. Urban Decay. Urban Decay is my favorite makeup, I think, by far when it comes to actual makeup for my face. I do love MAC. I do love a lot of different kinds, but when it comes to the actual makeup, you're going to hear me talk about Urban Decay a lot. This here is the Brightening and Tightening Complexion Primer. You can get this online. Of course, Ulta sometimes runs really great deals with it. I actually always am focused on my Ulta emails, and this goes on sale every once in a while for $15 instead of $35, and that's a score for me, so I always get it then. The nice thing about primer, if you use it, which you should, is that you use a very small amount. So even if you are spending a little bit more, if I don't use Urban Decay, I recommend highly Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I also like Bare Minerals. And there's even some great BB and CC creams out there. I like one called Supergoop. That's a CC that I found actually through Birchbox, a sample of that, and I ended up liking that. But this is my tried and true favorite if I had to pick just one. The primer will help you set your makeup. And for me in the beginning, I didn't get why I needed it. I'm thinking, I'm using foundation, that's enough. That's not enough sometimes to keep it on and keep the hold there. For me, I've noticed such a huge difference with it staying on when it comes to my foundation than anything else. And that for me is a bonus when I have long days and lots of crazy things or going from an event to another. That works well for me. Now, before I put my foundation on, I go and check out a little thing called this NYX Dark Circle Concealer. I try to sleep a lot, but I work a lot, and sometimes I work through the night because I get really into a groove and I love it, and I can't stop working, and then I wake up early to do more, and then I've got bags under my eyes. And if you work, you might have them too. And if you have kids, you might have them too, or just you don't sleep a lot. So this is a great product. Again, it's the NYX brand, which is a very inexpensive brand. You can get it, some Targets carry it. I got it at Ulta, I think it was $4 or $5, and it comes in this cute little tub. I use a color medium, it comes in light, medium, dark, those kind of shades. And I use a concealer brush, which I definitely encourage if you don't have it already. Have a great set of brushes. I've got a ton. The inexpensive ones, while they seem like a good deal in the beginning, I had to replace them with more expensive ones that last longer and are better quality. If you buy the cheap ones, you're gonna have to replace them, so just keep that in mind if you do that. So I just dip it in here, get a little bit on my brush, and then I just apply it underneath there. Some people will tell you not to apply concealer before foundation, apply it afterwards. And I kind of have my own method for that. Of course, I put this on before the foundation. As you can tell, there's no foundation on my face. This is a blank canvas. But I also contour and highlight, which I'll talk about a little bit later on, which you'll see. And that goes on after the foundation. This is kind of my just extra coverage kind of step. And again, as I mentioned before, there's so many products and things out there. There's so many ways to do things. And I encourage you to just find what works for you. What I tell you that I use and my methods may work great for me and they may not work great for you. It just depends on so many factors. So try, practice, don't be afraid to try some new things. When it comes to foundation, that's my next step. So primer, the dark eye concealer, and then I go into the actual foundation for my face. There are two that I kind of switch between. And it depends on my coverage and what I need. Coverage meaning, is my skin looking bright and great? Do I need very little, or do I feel like I need a lot of coverage with hiding things, blemishes, whatnot, whatever's going on? Or what am I doing that day? If I'm doing a photo shoot or something where I'm under a lot of lights, typically I want to go with the matte finish photo, or not photo, but foundation. If I need something lighter, I go with more of a powder based or even liquid, sometimes not at all. My two favorite foundations, I'm going to share one of each. This one right here, which is by Rimmel. Rimmel is a very inexpensive brand. You can actually purchase this at Target, Walmart. I think it's $4 or $5. If you also check your Ulta emails, a lot of times this is buy one, get one half off. So I'll buy one and get another one, and it's, you know, ridiculously cheap. And I use this like crazy. I use the color Light Ivory. And if I switch over to something that's a little bit less coverage, if I need more of a powder finish for, you know, like I said, less, I use Urban Decay. A little bit pricier. It just comes in a compact like this, so you can just put on a little bit at a time. I do like it a lot. It's just sometimes I need a little bit more going on. For the sake of today, I'm going to use this here, the Stay Matte by Rimmel. One thing about foundation, if you are watching this and you're scared to try foundation, you don't know what color you need to wear. Color is really important. You want to find the right one. And a lot of people wear colors that don't look good on them, and they're a size or a shade too light or dark. If you've never had a professional matching with the color, go into one of the makeup stores like Ulta, Sephora, wherever, even any makeup counter at a mall, and ask them to do it. You want to actually be matching your neck down here. And I am victim of it at times, that I've used foundations that I thought looked great, and because I put them on my hand, test against my hand, not realizing this is where I need to be testing here. So do that. That's if anything you could take from this video, it is to go figure out the appropriate color for you. You could have a really great eyebrow, lip going on and have a weird shade of face, and it's going to ruin the whole thing and you're going to look like a clown. So let's not do that. When it comes to foundation, I always use a brush to apply it. My favorite, I'll put it right up here so you can see, is a Sonia brush from Target, tool number 4. It's very flat, coarse, love it. I used to use a really cheapo kind of brush, and that did not work. Bristles would come out constantly, not worth it. So I ended up getting this one. This is probably $10 or $11, I don't even know, from Target, but it does last great. If you invest in higher quality brushes, you wash them once a week or once every couple weeks, they're gonna last. And that's why it's important to find something that's quality and take care of it, as with anything. I apply the makeup using this, the foundation makeup. I put it right on my hand like that, and then I just dab a little bit at a time on. I use a brush instead of my hand because it gets better coverage for me. I want it to look complete. I don't want to miss anything. I also in the past have used these bad boys, these contouring sponges that I now use for contouring, I should say. They're blending sponges. You can get them anywhere, and they're great because they again give you a nice smooth look. Let's put this on, get going with that process. When I start putting this color on, I always feel like, oh, that's too light. Of course, right now I have a brighter light shining down on me for the purpose of this video, but this is the right color for me. Again, I wear a light ivory. I have more of a porcelain-y kind of color skin. I don't tan anymore like I used to in my younger days, so this is typically the color that I stick with all the time. In the summertime, if I do get a little bit more sun, what I do is I take a slightly darker shade, or whatever shade of tan I become, and I mix it. I mix them a lot, actually, and that's a really great, inexpensive way to not waste makeup if you have shades that you don't, you know, that you don't know what you're going to do with, and maybe you did buy a darker color. It's okay. You're going to use it at some point if you do tan, if you're outside a lot. So I encourage you to keep that and just blend it in with your regular makeup. Use your hand, use some kind of a tool to do it. Don't just mix it on your face because that's not going to work. Just finishing doing this process here. And I love it. Feels good. Feels lovely. And that's that. Foundation is on. Once the foundation is on, I then switch over to just setting everything. For me, I use a really cheapo product that I love, and that is an e.l.f. compact. If you've never met e.l.f., I encourage you to go to Target and check it out, especially if you're beginning and you're not sure what to spend money on or what kind of products you like. e.l.f. is a line at Target. There's a white line like this, and there's also a black line, which is a little bit more expensive. The white line, typically everything's $1, and the black line could range anywhere from $3 to $10 or so. But I like the products a lot, and there's a lot of things that I have that are e.l.f. So even though I do have things that are Urban Decay or MAC that are a little bit pricier, I do have some of the cheaper stuff too. Again, it's all about finding what works for you. So I take that, again, basic compact, and I just set it. I don't know how I found this little e.l.f. compact because I used to use just straight up CoverGirl loose powder. Found this though, love it, and bought it, and have been buying it ever since. And at $1, makes me feel better about spending $20 on a lipstick, for example. All right, so once that's on, that is my face. I am now ready to get to the next step, which would be my eyebrows. So there'll be another video coming up here shortly showing you how I do that.